Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Mary of Creating with Mary. Today is a very reflective day for me. I'm going to be sharing about my family's experience with the Fulani Herdsmen. So I come from a town in Delta State that is largely agrarian. All they have and all they depend on for their livelihood is farming. So my mother, who grew up back then in the village, I was very well accustomed to farming practices. Started a farm in Kwara State where we lived. I was born in Kwara, and I lived practically most of my life in Loring. So when my mom acquired this piece of land, Amoyo, there's another town called Amoyo after Loring. She acquired a reasonable sized, a big plot of land. Not acquired, it was in the lease. So there's those places, I don't know how, oh my mama, I don't know how she got to know about it, about these lands, but she was able to get this piece of land on lease for herself, and we went there to farm. We farmed that piece of land for quite a number of years. Regular week schedule for school is Monday to Friday. My family will go to school. On Saturday we go to farm. Yeah, on Sunday we go to church. But most Saturdays is dedicated to our farm, to cultivating the farm. And whenever we're on holidays, at least we go to the farms 2 more days, maybe on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So we have regular visit to the farm when there is a holiday. And so we didn't lack food in my family. We didn't lack food as such. My mom, she was mainly she was the one that took charge of the home. My dad didn't live up to his responsibility as a father, but my mom didn't make us to realize that there was something lacking, because she made up for my father's inability to live up to his own responsibility. So she carried both burden, and she did a good job. So one of the things she did mostly at the beginning of when I started getting understanding as a human being, when I started getting older, was this farmland. And then she also did businesses by the side, selling this and selling that. Some of the harvest from the farm she took to the market and sold them so that she can get money for school fees, for clothing, and for things around the house. But she also maintained a business alongside. She sold clothes. She sold a lot of things on the way, on the journey. Back in 1992, I recollect, we went to the farm one of the Saturdays like that, and I have this image on my head. It's whenever these Fulani Herdsmen issues come up, this image is what comes to my head. Seeing my mom's distraught face. When we got to the farm, that was not the first time, but on this particular occasion, the kids, we went together with her. Sometimes she went all by herself. Maybe when we were in school on a weekday and she wasn't at the market selling stuff, she didn't go on a business travel, she'll be in the farm. So on this particular day, we went to the farm together with her. And when we got to the farm, the cows had come in. I don't know. They had come in. They had grazed all our cassava. They had grazed them all. Their prints were there. the poop, the cow dungs were there all over the farm, and my mom was so heartbroken and distraught and sad. I could feel. As a young, I was in my teens then, and I could feel a pain. And I could remember asking her, so what are we going to do about this? Are we going to have a report to someone? Who are we going to report to? This is unfair. This is unjust. And she didn't say much. She just said, oh, she will report to the traditional ruler of that community. But she knew it was way more than the community ruler could do. She knew it was something bigger, much bigger than people were saying. So the Fulani Herdsmen issue is something that touched my heart, because I had experiences. We didn't meet them at the farm. Maybe that was God's blessing. Then they were even more circumspect with their destruction, and at that time, back in the 90s, there wasn't so much boldness and brazenness to kill or to destroy. So they come in the night, they come when the farmers are not there, and then they graze the land and go with the cows. Who will you hold? Who will the farmers hold? Okay, so they do that with the mischief, and then the farmers are left to count their losses. The farmers are left to count their losses. My mom was destroyed. I felt a spirit break, like all my effort gone to waste, and I felt so bad. I felt so bad. I wish there was something I could do at that instant to correct that injustice that was done to her. And it wasn't only to my mother. Other farms around that area experienced similar destruction on their farms. My mom is late now. She didn't die at the hands of Fulani Herdsmen, thankfully. But the story now is that the Fulani Herdsmen, when they go to the farms and they are challenged by a farmer who is working on his farm to not graze his crops, the farmer could be killed, or they have all sorts of weapons on them. And this is quite sad. Like I just explained, that in my community in Delta State, where my mom learned these traditional practices of farming, they depend mostly on farming. They don't have any other source of livelihood. Most of them weren't educated, and even for the educated one, you have just a community bank, a school, a health center. How many people could those facilities employ within the village? So many of them rely on the farm produce for their livelihood. And then some Fulani Herdsmen from wherever they may be coming from would just come in and destroy those things without any punitive action taken against them. There's no record of them, of their names. There's no record of where they're from. There's no record. It's quite sad that this has persisted from that time on till even now. And now they're more brazen in their actions. They kill people. They kill farmers who dare to challenge them. During the administration of Goodluck Jonathan, the wanton killing and seizing of farmlands wasn't this bad. But since the inception of this present administration in 2015, the rate of destruction and killings of farmers in different communities within the middle belt and the southwest, and some in the southeast communities, south communities, the Southern Nigeria generally have experienced an increase in the number of herders challenging, killing, destroying farmers' lands, farmers' farms, and even taking their lives. I mean, this is way overboard, and the government isn't vigorously addressing this this challenge, even though there have been many outcries from different communities, different groups, different people. Some of these herders have made themselves into kidnappers. When they kidnap people and then request for ransom. So there's an increase in insecurity on different levels. Insecurity on farms, insecurity on the roads, on the highways. You cannot travel and be at peace without without thinking that, oh, maybe these bad people are around here, and they kidnap people and request ransom. Sometimes they even request ransom and still kill that victim. And the government seems to be asleep on this issue. So recently, this Sunday, Igbo of the Southwest community challenged some of these Fulani communities to vacate the lands. I mean, this is ancestral land of known people. These are ancestral lands of known people. People whose fathers and their fathers before them and before them have lived on these lands. And some people from God knows where they come from will come in there, and because maybe they were given some space due to the hospitality of the community, they decide that it's time to take over. So there are some arguments on Facebook. Some of the ones I've read that, oh, people should have acquiesced to their ruder requests. In 2019, a government of a federal republic will be requesting people's lands for cows to use authority, to use their own authority to take lands and give it to Fulanis. I mean, it's I just pray and I hope that there will be a lot of support. There will be a lot of the government doesn't continue sleeping on this matter, because the sound, what it's bringing, the rumors are not sounding nice. They're not sounding funny. People are tired of being killed on their own lands. They didn't go to the north to farm. They didn't go to the north. They stayed at their homes, within their communities to farm. Yet they are kidnapped, yet they are killed, yes, their crops are destroyed, their source of livelihoods are destroyed. I mean, the food prices have jumped so high because many of these farmers can't even go to their farms anymore. They're afraid for their lives. I mean, it is when you have your life that you can even think about doing something with it. But they're afraid to be killed on their own farmland, on their own ancestral lands, in their own community, where they've grown up, where they've lived all their lives, and then they are now being threatened. That's quite unfair. That's quite unjust. So this is a matter that really must be addressed by the government, and promptly too. This sitting down and allowing this to fester and allowing communities to take up the battle by their own selves. We do not pray for war. That's something that many people will not pray for, because there are historical incidences of war. We don't all go well. But the people who are tired of being killed, the people who are tired of being sent home to cower, will eventually have to face that threat. They'll have to face that war. We have to face that threat at some point. and stop the running. Whether the government does anything or not, it's just what it is. I hope the government will be sensible enough and do something right to correct this wrong. I just wanted to talk about this. Thank you so much for listening to me speak about my experiences. I'd like to know, have you had any experiences with Fulani Herdsmen? Kindly share your experiences in the comment section under this video. Thank you again for watching. See you next time.